So, today I want to start with a poem by RUDYARD Kipling, if this is how you pronounce him. Fun fact, I have seen a video posted on Reddit and the thumbnail saying, well, it's a life-changing poem and whatnot, and then I Googled him, and this was the first poem that showed up, and so I'm gonna read it. I think that I before have read it. It kind of sounds similar or familiar, and it's called If by RUDYARD Kipling, Brother Square Toes, Rewards and Fairies. I guess that's the book or something. If you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you. If you can trust yourself when all men doubt you, but make allowance for their doubting too. If you can wait and not be tied by waiting, or being lied about, don't deal in lies, or being hated, don't give way to hating, and yet don't look too good nor talk too wise. If you can dream and not make dreams your master, if you can think and not make thoughts your aim, if you can meet with triumph and disaster, and treat those two impostors just the same. If you can bear to hear the truth you've spoken, twisted by knaves to make a trap for fools, or watch the things you gave your life to, broken, and stoop and build them up with a worn out tool. If you can make one heap of all your winnings and risk it on one turn of pitch and toss, and lose and start again at your beginnings and never breathe a word about your loss. If you can force your heart and nerve and sinner to serve your turn long after they are gone, and so hold on when there is nothing in you except the will which says to them, hold on. If you can talk with crowds and keep your virtue, or walk with kings, nor lose the common touch, if neither foes nor loving friends can hurt you, if all men count with you, but none too much, if you can feel the unforgiven minute, with 60 seconds worth of distance run, yours is the earth and everything that's in it, and which is more, you'll be a man, my son. Fucking great poem. I would like to read an analysis about that, since I don't know how to do that. Let's see. Englicist.com. If by RUDYARD Kipling, summary and analysis. About the poem. This poem, quote unquote, by the Indian-born British Nobel laureate poet RUDYARD Kipling, is a poem of ultimate inspiration that tells us how to deal with different situations in life. The poet conveys his idea about how to win this life, and after all, how to be a good human being. The poem, written in 1895 and first published in Rewards and Fairies 1910, is 32 lines long with 4 stanzas of 8 lines each. It is a tribute to Linda Starr Jamson. The poem is written in the form of paternal advice to the poet's son, John. You may read more about the poem at Wikipedia. For the theme, as already told, the poem basically tells us the conditions we should meet to succeed in life and make this life happy and a beautiful one. The whole poem is written in a single complex sentence, so all the subordinate clauses begin with if, and the main clause concluding the entire theme comes at the end, and the poem ends with a full stop. This structure of the poem was important to achieve the conditional goal. The poet speaks of the achievement at the end after discussing all the requirements to reach there. This structure is actually symbolic in suggesting that you can get the rewards only after you have fulfilled the preconditions. Moreover, this makes the readers eager to know what would happen when we meet all these conditions, thus retaining the curiosity and interest till the end. And as the main theme of the poem is a combination of so many ifs, the title If is an apt one for the poem. Now it's time to get for an analysis of the poem. actually a fairly long article, so I probably won't go or won't talk about anything else but this today. Summary and line-by-line explanation of if first stanza. If you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you. To be a good human being and to succeed in life, we should keep calm when other people around us are losing their cool. We should not lose our temperament even if others are blaming us for their fault. Losing the temper doesn't solve a problem, rather intensifies that. Keeping the head cool makes us think wisely to face those tough situations, and ultimately a solution comes out. If you can trust yourself when all men doubt you, but make allowance for their doubting you. We should have the faith in ourselves even when others doubt us. But after that, we should give some importance to that doubt too and try to find out what may be the reason for their suspicion. After all, to err is human. So by keeping faith in ourselves, we make sure that we don't get demoralized or disheartened. And by allowing others doubt a little space of thought, we ensure that we are not doing something wrong knowingly or unknowingly. If you can wait and not be tired by waiting, we should work hard and wait for the result patiently. We should not get tired by waiting. There are a number of real-life examples where people missed big opportunities only by losing their patience. Moreover, there goes a number of proverbs. Hurry will bury you. Haste makes waste. Patience pays off. So it's quite understandable why the poet makes a point for patience here. Or being lied about, don't deal in lies. People may lie about us to others, but we should not indulge ourselves in lies. In other words, we should always remain truthful. If we are misled or tempted to lie, people will ultimately discover the truth and won't believe us anymore. That is why it's important to speak the truth, even if that hurts us. Well, I mean, yeah, I would definitely say this as well, and it is, interestingly enough, something that Jordan Peterson likes to talk about, likes to talk about lying, and I think it is even a rule in the 12 rules for life to be truthful and to just not lie. And as far as I remember, he indeed points out, just don't lie, which does not include maybe, saying half the truth, if you know what I mean. Like if something happens and you're just, and you're talking about those things that don't make you look too bad, which I, by the way, think is completely fine, actually. I don't know, like, do we always have to, even though it is something that I really, really like to do, but do we always need to make our situation worse by saying, quote unquote, the wrong thing? I really like to do that. Subconsciously, I just say things then. I don't know why. Maybe it is my fear of lying, my fear of not being truthful enough. But in the end, it's, there's better things to do than basically putting yourself into a spot that might not be the best to be. Or being hated, don't give way to hating. People may show their hatred towards us, yet we should not hate them. We should show our love and respect to others. No man or woman is perfect in this world. Everyone has his strengths and weaknesses. We have to accept that and respect them for the good qualities in them. And yet, don't look too good nor talk too wise. We should not show us as too good a person or too wisely with common people, even after possessing such qualities. Having acquired all these good qualities mentioned above, people generally feel proud and tend to show off how good they are. But the poet wants us not to go that way. In that case, others would feel uncomfortable in our company and avoid us. Even others may try to prove us wrong at a cost, leading to an unhealthy competition. Well, this, by the way, is something that I think about as well. I mean, if I know, for example, that a person wasn't able to work out in quite some time because, are they called studios in English? Gyms. Well, let's make it easy. Gyms are closed and I'm just working out from home. I tend to not say that because I know maybe this person feels bad about themselves, just because they're not able to work out, or maybe they could and they're just not taking the opportunity or whatever. I really am thinking about the other person when I'm communicating, when I'm saying something, because if I know things about things, then, why should I hurt the other person? Like, what's the benefit for me? There's no fucking benefit for me. Second stanza. If you can dream and not make dreams your master. To do something bigger, we should dream first, but the poet also reminds us not to be guided by unrealistic dreams. If dreams take the driver's seat, we would get detached from reality and eventually fail. There goes the saying, you have to dream first before your dream can come true. So we should dream to reach great heights in life, but keeping the reality in mind. If you can think and not make thoughts your aim. We should be able to think over a matter, but should not make the thoughts our aim. This is to say that we often lose our radar and get detached from the main point, so our thinking should not be scattered, misleading us away from the target. If you can meet with triumph and disaster and treat those two imposters just the same. Life is a combination of success and failure, joy and sorrow, good times and bad times. We should accept both and face both situations with similar treatment. Here, the poet personifies triumph and disaster, capitalizing and calling them two imposters, pretenders or cheaters. People become too happy in success and forget their duty at hand. We may also get too complacent or proud at a small success, reducing our chances to reach higher goals. Again, at bad times, if we are too grieved, we may lose our faith and confidence. In both cases, our regular course of work is hampered. And that is why the poet calls triumph and disaster two imposters. He asks us to treat these ciphers similarly with a smiling face. In short, don't be too happy or too sad under any circumstance. And by the way, this is something that I've been talking about before indeed, and I really get to love this poem. If you are getting too happy when something, well, it sounds so dumb, but if you let one side of the spectrum control you a lot, then the other side of the spectrum is also going to control you, Meaning that, well, and there was a better example, I remember that there was something, and I guess it was actually said by Gary Vee, but yeah, anyway, if you're too happy about your triumphs, then you're gonna be also very, very, very sad about your failures. Which doesn't mean that we should not be celebrating and whatnot, but yeah, it is something incredibly important to keep in mind, at least in my point of view. If you can bear to hear the truth you have spoken and twisted by nays to make a trap for fools. We have to bear the tough situations where we see that our speech or statement is distorted by someone to befool others. Very often we see that people misinterpret or even deliberately distort our words to use it in their favor. We should not lose our temper hearing that, rather we should tolerate that, ensuring we have spoken the truth. You could also put it that way. I mean, maybe you haven't spoken clearly enough, or communicated whatever you want to communicate in a clear enough way. Or watch the things you gave your life to broken and stop and build them up with worn out tools. We have to hold our nerves even after seeing that our favorite thing that we build with all our effort and time is broken. Then we have to pick up the scattered parts and build it all over again. This is another key to getting to the top of the world, according to the poet. To keep our cool is not easy in such a situation, but patience and the mental toughness would help us build them again. Indeed, there is a story about Newton that the papers containing his theories were destroyed in a fire, and he wrote them again from the beginning. Yeah, I kind of remember something similar, but I don't know if it was about Newton. Well, anyway, the third stanza. Well, there's actually a bit to go. I don't know. What's the time? What's the time and how long am I recording? Should be fine. Third stanza. If you can make one heap of all your winnings and risk it on one turn of pitch and toss, and lose and start again at your beginnings, and never breathe a word about your loss. We should be able to accumulate all we have and take a risk in one turn of the game of pitch and toss. We may lose the game and all our possessions, but we have to stay calm without uttering a word about the loss and rebuild it from the beginning. Here the poet talks about the capability of taking big risks to achieve much greater success and keeping quiet even if we lose the bet. This is yet another aspect of our mental toughness that we need to possess. If you can force your heart and nerve and sinew to serve your turn long after they are gone, and so hold on when there is nothing in you except the will which says to them, hold on. In the 4 lines above, the poet continues the same theme of mental strength and the power of will. We have to force our body, heart and nerve and sinew to serve us even after it has lost the strength due to old age or illness. Thus, we should keep on working, driven by the power of will, which would ask them, heart and nerve and sinew, to hold on, compelling to do their job. If we want to do something great for our hearts, the will inside us would prevent the body from getting tired. Indeed, there goes a proverb, when going gets tough, the tough gets going. 4th stanza. If you can talk with crowds and keep your virtue, or walk with kings, nor lose the common touch. We should stay in touch with people from every class of the society. We should be able to talk with common mass without losing our virtue or moral values. Again, we should be able to walk with kings without going beyond the reach of the common people. The common touch would help us realize the reality and feel the needs of the society. On the other hand, the noble touch would give us the power and opportunity to reach higher goals. If not foes nor loving friends can hurt you, if all men count with you, but none too much. We should build ourselves strong enough, mentally and physically, so that neither enemies nor loving friends can hurt us. Moreover, we should develop healthy relationships with everyone around us and should not allow anyone to harm us. We have to develop our personality the right way so that everyone supports us and gives us importance. Count with you, but none too much. If we allow someone to give us too much importance, we may be emotionally bound. That may restrict our freedom and prevent us from doing our duty, or we make it complacent, thinking that we are so much liked by people, thus reducing our effort. I do want to repeat these 2 paragraphs again, since they're super well written and super well said and bring it on a point. Well, I'm maybe gonna do it afterwards, after I went through the whole thing. If you can fill the unforgiven minute with 60 seconds worth of distance run. Time is precious. Wait a second, let's just do it like this, yeah. Time is precious. A minute is filled with 60 seconds. Time, minute, is here called unforgiven, as it waits for none and doesn't forgive him who wastes it. We should utilize every minute of our life in productive work. Wasting time is not something we can afford in our short lifespan. Yours is the earth and everything that's in it, and which is more, you'll be a man, my son, which is the last line of them all. Finally comes to achievement that we can get if we fulfill all the conditions mentioned so far. We can win the earth and everything in it. We can go to top of the world and rule over everything. And what is more, we would be a complete and perfect human being. We shouldn't forget that Kipling wrote this poem for his son, as it is addressed in the very last line. The poet wanted to show his son the right way to be a future leader, but it has inspired many a man in that journey of life on earth so far. The poet wanted to show his son the right way to be a future leader, but it has inspired many a man in their journey of life on earth so far. Kind of sounds a poet in a poet, or a poem in a poem. Anyway, I want to go through those amazing 2 paragraphs again. We should build ourselves strong enough mentally and physically so that neither enemies nor loving friends can hurt us. Moreover, we should develop healthy relationships with everyone around us and should not allow anyone to harm us. We have to develop our personality the right way so that everyone supports us and gives us importance. So count with you, but none too much. If we allow someone to give us too much importance, we may be emotionally bound. that may restrict our freedom and prevent us from doing our duty. But we may get complacent thinking that we are so much liked by the people, thus reducing our effort. It's just amazing. But without saying too much, I'm willing to end the episode. Stay safe, healthy, take care of yourself, and remember that we all can say something that's indeed going to change somebody's life. And yeah, see you the next time. Bye-bye.